have you ever moved your furniture around and felt like it just wasn't quite right? Or gotten dressed for an appointment or a meeting and didn't really like the color or what you were wearing? Or maybe you did go to that meeting or luncheon and where you were sitting, yeah, you just felt a little off, like you weren't at your powerful best. Well, there's some reasoning behind that, and you want to stay tuned today because I have Linda Ellson from Feng Shui Your World, and she is an expert at helping you to be the most powerful you can be in your personal and your business life. So before I let her share all these secret tips with you, we're going to hear from our sponsors.
Dent Neurologic Institute is proud to support Health Matters. Dent Neurologic Institute offers neurologic education, state-of-the-art diagnostics, and cutting-edge clinical research. If you or someone you know is looking for more information, visit our website at dentinstitute.com.
I'm Kathleen Maxian with the Western New York Ovarian Cancer Project, and we're a proud sponsor of Health Matters. Our mission is to educate the Western New York community on the symptoms and risks of ovarian cancer. We also have supportive programs for women who have ovarian cancer, including professionally facilitated support groups, our Cancer Answers workshop, and our signature Comfort and Hope Tote program. Continue to watch Health Matters, and we'll continue to educate you on ovarian cancer.
Electronic Merchant Systems is proud and honored to bring you such creative educational television as Your Health Matters. We believe in we educate and you decide.
Hi everyone and welcome back. This is Anna Marie Sinatra from Sinatra Solutions and your host of Health Matters. And I'm so excited I can hardly stand it because I have sitting next to me an amazing person who I absolutely adore, who has helped me personally and in my business world as well. Linda Ellson, the expert from Feng Shui Your World. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you, Anna Marie. It's a pleasure to be here.
I think we're both kind of beaming with excitement. I have great admiration for you and such a respect because I know that you have studied with some great masters in this ancient art. So if you're thinking about Feng Shui, I don't know what that is, or you have a preconceived notion of what it is, just forget about it for a few minutes and listen, because this is ancient wisdom that comes from China. And I'm going to throw this one in before I bounce it to you. What really got me was when Linda told me that Donald Trump has his own Feng Shui consultant on his payroll.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, so if it's good for him, it's going to be good for me too.
I would think so.
So tell us a little bit, those who don't know what Feng Shui is, a little bit about yourself and what Feng Shui is.
Yes, I'm a certified Feng Shui practitioner and president and owner of Feng Shui Your World. And I help people to create balance and harmony in their physical space. That's done through the arrangement of furniture, the selection of colors, and the placement of some symbolic objects, which we're going to talk a little bit about today. But it's really a process to, again, create balance and harmony in your home environment or office space with being in rhythm with the beauty of nature. So trees being in bloom, the sun is shining, a beautiful water fountain. It's all about connecting to that harmony.
Ah, that's really beautiful. And you know, when you said that too, in balance and harmony, oddly enough, I was at lunch before I come to meet you today, and when the way we were sitting, I felt so uncomfortable. And I just said, you know, let's switch to this other table. I didn't say why, but I knew, and I could kind of feel, I know my power direction now, thanks to you, and I could kind of feel it. When we switched to the other table, I felt 100% better, and I knew I was in my flow. That is so odd.
Well, we all have personal power directions, and it's actually a formula that you work with based on a person's month, day, and year of birth. And we have looked at Anna Marie's personal power directions. But some basic tips are, you kind of think about the old gangster idea of like always having your back up against a solid wall. Like we can clearly see who's walking into the studio today.
Yes.
But then there's nuances, the angle of my chair, is it aligned with my wealth and success luck direction, or am I looking to improve my health? If I had a client that just had their ACL replaced, so they are sitting in their recliner chair, they're icing in a direction that is flowing for them, angled to the north for them personally, is a good health luck direction.
So the directions, thinking of, we know some of you know this already, so we're going to try to hit everybody. The directions, obviously, north, south, east, west, and then little variations of it.
Sure.
But you want to just kind of go through what each one is in general.
Right. Well, there's different nuances in how they relate in your home and then how they relate for personal power directions. But in general Feng Shui, the idea of Feng Shui and one of the thoughts and theories that we have is that your whole life is mapped out throughout your physical space. So the area of the north, that is our area that we honor our career in Feng Shui. And then the northeast honors knowledge and education. It's also research, it's travel. The east is family. Think about where the sun rises in the morning in your home. So we'd say health and family. The southeast is your wealth and prosperity luck area. The noontime sun, where that comes in, is your fame and your reputation. It's also the media. So I bet your south is doing very, very well in your house. Southwest is partnership luck. And we'd say love and marriage in very traditional circles. The west, think about where the sun sets at the end of the day. That's our children and our personal creativity. And then the northwest honors the male head of the household and helpful people in our life and also mentors. Wow. And the idea in Feng Shui is that if we look at all of these different areas, and Feng Shui wants you to look at these different areas, right, we balance them out with elements. So like for an example, if you're looking to tap into more juice and passion in life and you want to be on Anna Marie's television show, maybe you'd add some red candles. Or you think about the color red of the envelope here would be energizing it with some fire element. We are going to be coming into a new Chinese New Year soon.
Yes. So, Happy New Year, everyone. If you're
Happy New
watching
Year.
This program in the beginning of the year.
We get 2 chances of that in our culture. But the wood element is going to be a very big element this year. So wearing the color green, introducing, plants in your house, whether you love, live plants or not. I want everyone to own at least 1 live plant this year in their home.
And those who say, but I can't, I kill plants.
Just 1. They can do 1.
And you like the one, isn't that easy? The, what are those called?
Bamboo.
Bamboo.
Bamboo is an easy plant. It's symbolic of being a health and longevity luck plant. For those who are maybe looking for a little wealth and prosperity luck, the jade is a good, juicy
jade juicy, and it's also very good for your health too, right?
Yes.
Yep. So let's talk a little bit about the history behind this, because this isn't, a lot of people think it's new age, it's brand new stuff. No, this is ancient wisdom coming out of China.
Yes. It is a more than 3,000-year-old tradition, and it's considered to be both an art and science. So Feng Shui is the art and science of placement. And it originated in China more than 3,000 years ago. And it started off with the emperors, you could say, hiring the wise people, the Feng Shui practitioners, people who just really paid attention to physical space. So it was all about practical things like, was the ground solid, to build the big imperial palace? What direction should the emperor sit on his throne? Where in the castle should the chambers for the family be? And then what's the quality of the sunlight? We talk about fire element. And over time, the emperors thought the information was so powerful that they really didn't want the information in the hands of the masses, so they banned it.
Wow.
So there were lots of ebbs and flows over the thousands of years in ancient China where you weren't allowed to practice Feng Shui.
Wow.
So much of Feng Shui has actually been practiced much throughout the Pacific Rim, in Singapore, in Malaysia, Hong Kong, and it arrived in the U.S. about 20 years ago now.
Wow, only 20 years?
Only 20 years.
My goodness, it feels like it's been around forever.
No, I would say 20 to 25 to be on the safe side. So it started off in California and kind of made its way to the east.
Do you think Donald Trump is the one who brought it in? No, I'm just kidding.
He's one of the big players out there that does use Feng Shui. I think why Feng Shui is really gaining a lot of appeal is that we're all looking for ways to make our lives a little easier, a little happier, a little harmonious. And the idea of Feng Shui is that your home is so pivotal and important because what happens there in these different sectors and areas of your life ripples out to the rest of the world. So if you can make a little bit of an adjustment here or there, you start to see shifts and changes if you're up for a job promotion or looking to attract someone new into your life or help one of your little ones out, in math class. you know, there can be some just subtle little shifts and changes. You know, if people deal with depression, I mean, I hear all sorts of things. One of the first things I say is, number one, let's start opening up all the blinds and draperies around the house. And then, you know, clutter's a big thing that we talk about in Feng Shui.
Please, yes.
So, you know, usually if people are dealing with depression issues, the first thing I say is, I'm gathering you have some clutter, and number one place to start is get it up off the floor.
Right.
When we have lots of things low and on the ground, we tends to you know, drag us down energetically. So, you know, one of the tips in talking about the Chinese New Year and how we prepare for that is it's a great time of year to clean and to purge, you know, declutter. So it's about the idea of making room for something new and that creating that sparkle for that new energy to come in.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh my goodness, you said so many things that I'm so grateful for and that I resonate with too. I remember the church that I attended had this big board on it, and they called it the circulation board. And this is kind of interesting every January too. It's so interesting, the flow of the universe, of the world. And they said, clean things out and put up what you don't want, and then put up on the board requests for what you do want. And you know, that was the first lesson that I had, and this was like over lots of years ago. I don't want to say how old I am. And I did that. I cleaned things out and I put it up there on the circulation board for what I wanted to give away and the things that I did want. And it was amazing when you start getting rid of stuff and decluttering, how you open up your world for good to come in. It's incredible, incredible. And I love what you said too about a little, because that's where you helped me a lot. And you are watching today. You say a little Feng Shui is better than no Feng Shui.
Yes.
Because I know I can get a little crazy with, I got to do it all perfect and right. And
well, absolutely. And that is one of the things that I stress to people, whether they're in, you know, a classroom with me or I've come out for a private consultation. I wouldn't want you to Feng Shui your whole home in one weekend. It's kind of like the idea of like shaking up a snow globe. The snow would start flying everywhere, and you're just waiting for it to settle down again, you know, and see the village and the people again. But, you know, you start off slowly. You do a little, you know, Feng Shui experiment. Like we talked about, maybe adding a plant or two, and the wood element being big in the upcoming year of the horse. So one of the great locations where wood element would be really, really fruitful this year is in the north. And the north is good for, very, very good for, it is career luck in Feng Shui, but it's extra good for career luck, you know, in this coming year. So having some sort of plant, you know, maybe in a bright, you know, red fiery pot, you know, and maybe it's a clay pot because we need earth element there too. And it's symbolic of, you know, solid foundation and growth on your career path, whether you're looking to start a new business or you're looking to get a job promotion, or, you know, just line up something new in your life.
Like
and it's about you being on your path and your journey. But I've just started on Facebook. I started a 20 for 21.
Yes.
And that means 20 minutes of clutter clearing for 21 days. So no matter what day of the week you're seeing this, you know, no time like the present to start 20 minutes a day. Set your cell phone timer, kitchen timer. Don't answer the phone. And just start purging, whether it's filing or, you know, decluttering your email, your clothes closet, because I figured it out. In those 21 days, that will add up to 7 hours.
Wow.
If you didn't create that 20 minutes, you wouldn't have that 7 hours. 7 hours sounds like a lot of hours for clutter clearing.
And it is, and it's how, and I like to use the analogy, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Something might feel, I know it sounds a little weird, but it's a good analogy. I don't know where I heard it from, but it's if you feel overwhelmed and you have so much clutter, it's time, this is a beautiful time to get rid of some of it. And one of the things that you said was handle things once. I remember that too.
That's
so when mail comes in, it's like before I set it down, I look at all the junk mail and it goes right into the recycling bin. And then bills get into the bill pile, and then what I need to look at another time goes into another pile. So this way it's organized.
Well, and you know, and that's the thing, is like there's a lot of practical to Feng Shui. And then, you know, and then there's some, you know, fun experiments that, you know, you can take on as well. But clutter clearing is huge. And again, it's a great way to prepare for the Chinese New Year. Another tip in preparation for the Chinese New Year is we look at our dinnerware and our china. So if you have your favorite coffee mug in the morning that has a little chip on the top of it, time to replace it, because we always talk about in Feng Shui, we talk about the front entrance of our home, and we say that is where the main point of energy comes in. So it's very important that that front door, be swept and painted and no loose handles. But in Feng Shui, we'd say your mouth is the main point of qi. So if you're thinking about your mug going up to your mouth every morning, whether you're drinking tea or coffee or water, and it has a chip on it, there's broken energy going into the mouth or the front door. So that's very, very important that dinnerware, china, especially around the time of the Chinese New Year, that it get replaced for something new and vital. Because the idea is that when things are in working order, when things are not tattered or in disarray, I always say if it's broken, fix it. It's very practical. It's
or
like your energy in life starts flowing, or blown out like the light bulbs.
Throw it out.
Yes.
This stuff, I remember sometime I had a few things that I was hanging on to that I thought, well, I'll get this fixed, or it's a favorite thing of mine. And you said, how long have you had it? Oh, maybe 10 years. And it's like, okay, time to get rid of it,
yes.
isn't it? And I am, as you know, I'm very, very neat and organized, but I went through a whole nother layer of it by applying some of these principles. And boy, did I see some big differences.
Well, sure. And, you're talking about layers, and it is. It's typically like layers of an onion for people. And, look, some of us have more clutter than others. Like you said, just for all of us dealing with the Daily Mail, that can pile up. But obviously some people have homes that they inherited, and, some have that gene to be the collector more than others. So, sometimes it takes a few swoops for people to go through to, get to the bottom of it. And a lot of my clients have shared with me over the years that they felt that once they got on the path of clutter clearing, along with working with Feng Shui, that means, balancing out the different elements. So we talk about the elements that we talk about in Feng Shui. We talk about earth and fire and metal and water and wood. Think about what we find out there in nature. Well, in Feng Shui, the goal is that we mindfully balance out all of those elements in our space. The feedback that I've gotten over time is that when you balance out the elements in your space, it's bringing into an alignment. It's kind of like being in the Papa Bear chair. It just starts feeling good around here. Things like clutter clearing, it just starts going easier, or you just don't have the need to, hold on to it anymore. I can let it go and make room for something new to come into my life. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I like that 20 minutes for 21 days on your Facebook page. Also, because I'm following you on Facebook and your website, because I want to stay up on the changes for the new year. We have to talk a little bit more about that.
Yes.
But also on your Facebook page, you're doing a Friday tip every Friday.
Yes, I'm calling it Feng Shui Friday. So every Friday there will be a new tip that's posted on Facebook and also Twitter. So for those of you who tweet, it's out there as well. So there'll be new ideas and inspiration every week that'll give you food for thought.
So we have Throwback Thursdays and Feng Shui Fridays.
That's right. We're starting a new trend here.
Yes, I think I might have to figure out something for Sinatra Solutions. Something. I don't know. You might have to help me figure that out.
Something with Saturday or Sunday, Anna Marie.
Okay, that sounds good.
You can come right after Feng Shui Friday. Probably give you good energy, right?
There you go. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I have to tell you that I loved when you came to my house and did a personal consultation, because I had followed you in some of the classes that you do out in the community, and have, again, the different layers of it, understanding the origin of it, the history of it, seeing the connection of so much of other movements or whatever, knowing that all this stuff really fits together in such a beautiful way. And the differences have just been amazing in my own personal life. So, and also you talked about the North, I want to talk about the South for the Grand Duke. Yes, and what we might talk about is being a little bit of negative energy coming in.
Well, there's negatives and positives. So let me explain what that means.
Okay.
So we're buzzing a little bit about the upcoming Chinese New Year. So every year, I think you probably know in the mass media, if you pay attention to that there's a new animal sign that comes in every year. So we are just leaving out of the year of the horse, and we're going into the year of the sheep. And the year of the sheep, interestingly enough, is all about a beautiful environment, creating a nice little nest for yourself. Okay, so it's a great time to be introducing something like Feng Shui. Well, every year this animal sign is associated with a new sector. So Anna Marie gave you a little hint about the South. Well, the horse was associated with the South, and now this sheep is associated with the Southwest. So the Southwest there's positives and there's a little minus there this year. The positive of the Southwest is that it's very, very good with the new energy coming in the Chinese New Year. It's very good for future prosperity. So what are you building and putting out there in the future? So, you know, the fire element, the colors, the reds are very, very vital in the Southwest this year. However, there's always a little hook wherever that animal sign is hanging out. So the sheep, we'd say, the sheep is the Grand Duke of the year. It's like the Grand Poopah. Well, the big deal in Feng Shui is that you never want to, number one, directly sit facing, you know, this big Grand Duke energy for the year. So do not face sitting southwest, meaning like all day long working at your computer, or, you know, all evening long for 4 hours watching television, if that's what you do. And the bigger thing is you ideally do not want to dig or renovate in the Southwest. So every year there are certain directions that it's great. You know, wind is behind you. Please do some renovations. Like in the north will be a great year to do that. So remodel the bathroom in the north, you know, go sailing a lot out on Lake Erie, you know, right out, you know, the back of your home. So if you want to do a little, we talked a little bit about symbolic Feng Shui.
Yes.
This is what's known as a piao. And a piao is half dog and half dragon. And he's known as a guardian and a protector. So we place the piao in the Southwest, facing Southwest. So basically what this piao is doing is just saying like, hey, Grand Duke, just don't mess with me and my family, okay?
And don't I see some of those on the outside of houses too? Are they?
You know what? Those are, you are somewhat correct.
Okay.
Typically, if people have been paying attention to Chinese symbology,
yes,
the guardians typically that are used outside of the home are foo dogs. Those are a little bit different.
Okay.
But those are guardian type figures. The piao is directly associated with the Grand Duke energy. What's powerful about it is you figure, again, this is not a fad. It is a more than 3,000-year-old tradition.
Right.
So you've had a mass culture put a lot of attention saying piao helps keep the Grand Duke, the heavy energy of the year, at bay. And then I can just focus on, you know, adding my red, adding my potted plants, and you know, seeing my spark happen for me. Southwest relates to relationship, and it's also the female head of the household. So women can really advance, you'd say, their future prosperity, or the couple doing that.
And you know, when you came to my home and did a full consultation, one of the things that another thing I love that you said is you said shop in your own home.
Yes.
So we went around and just moved different things,
Yes.
and I have angels for protection and different other stuff that I use, and you know, just do a little Feng Shui is better than no Feng Shui, as
exactly.
we said.
And I always say, and Anna Marie's right, one of the things I like to talk about is, you know, you don't need to spend a fortune to have great Feng Shui. So when I'm making recommendations about where you need water, it could be, gee, we go into Anna Marie's basement and she has a closet there and she has a beautiful picture of Lake Erie. So we're saying, hey, let's add the picture of Lake Erie. Or, you know, the background of the set here is this deep, beautiful blue. That's also water element. So, or I may suggest that someone needs to strengthen some metal element, and that happens to be in the West in their dining room table. Well, they have these forgotten silver candlesticks, you know, that are hanging out in a kitchen cabinet.
Exactly.
Let's pull them out of the cabinet, give it new life, and now all of a sudden they're serving you in that West and that children and creativity area.
And it's really kind of fun because you get to change your house around, you know, and change it in a way where you could really feel the flow and the positive results of it too. So taking things from one room and putting them into another, it just kind of changed everything around and made it look good and feel good and flowed. And like I said, it's been layers. You know, it's not like I ran out and bought all this stuff the first day. Put the angels in that corner. And the reason why I laughed when Linda talked about digging is because they're doing some major construction out on the street right in that corner where we were just talking about.
So we are having you have a little piao.
So I have a little piao in that corner. I also have my angels and red and everything else, whatever you told me, I did right away.
Well, and another thing I want to touch on is, you know, so there are these subtle shifts and changes that happen with the Chinese New Year, but also when we talked about, you know, coming out and consulting on your home, we fortified your long-term Feng Shui. So that is, you know, that to me, there's layers of it. There's your groundwork and your long-term Feng Shui, and then there's subtle little shifts and changes that take place every year, and that's for instant, quick results or protection luck in any given year.
Yes, absolutely. So when people are watching today, because we are winding down and I'm just trying to get every single thing in, I can't believe the time is flying by so quickly. But what are some things besides the clutter clearing, or in addition to, that you can say to people today to start to make a difference, besides following you on Facebook and your website?
Well, one of my favorite tips is, and I alluded to this, is that I really like people to bring the natural, wonderful fire element into their home. So to me, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I open up all the blinds and open up all the draperies, and again, let that vital natural element come into your home. And I'm always asked a lot of questions about health, and here we are on Health Matters.
Yes.
So the big area that we want to pay attention to in the year of the sheep is in the west. So easy for us to identify, that is where the sun sets in all of our homes at the end of the day. So we want to strengthen that west, that example of the silver candlesticks on the dining room table, wherever west is in your home. Is it your home office? Is it your dining room? Is it your master bedroom? Wherever that is, we want to add more metal, whether it's, silver candlesticks, a brass lamp, a beautiful silver bowl, colors like white, gray, metallic, gold, silver, bronze. The other big tip is that you very specifically, you hang a wind chime in that area. And you hang an all metal wind chime with 6 hollow tubes. So the thought and the theory with Feng Shui is that any of the negative energy goes down through the tubes and dissipates below.
Wow.
So a piao or a wind chime does not need to be visible. It doesn't need to look like a cheap Chinese restaurant. They can be hiding behind a drapery, or your little piao's hiding behind a basket or a chair. But it's very important. And the idea of the metal is that it's moving metal, so we're keeping our flexibility. Remember, that's our children too. So it's our children and children's health, okay? And if we're spending more time in that area of our home, we're strengthening that. And I do want to say and put a shout out, north and south of Buffalo, I now carry my product at the Be Healthy Institute in Hamburg, and also at the Ivy League Psychic Academy in Amherst, New York.
Awesome. So you're covering north, south.
North, south.
Where's east and west?
Coming? Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. I'll tell you, the time has flown so quickly, and whether you're watching this program at the beginning of the year or the end of the year, this is definitely something that I'm going to be replaying, because as you said, some people get this information towards the end of the Chinese New Year. Doesn't matter, as long as we get you this information, and that you do a little Feng Shui is better than no Feng Shui. Some changes, a little bit at a time. Declutter. Watch the program, stay tuned, follow Linda and myself on Facebook, and don't forget you can rewatch the program after you see it on Time Warner on YouTube. And thank you so much for coming in and sharing amazing tips to help to empower us.
You're very
Thank you. And remember, your health matters. So keep watching, keep rewatching on YouTube, and until next time, be healthy. Here's another word from some of our sponsors. We want to thank Marge Reed from the Healing Spa. Marge is an ordained Unity minister. She has her BA in complementary health, and she's joined by her beautiful daughter Gina, who's a registered nurse. Together they bring us the latest technology in stemology, skincare, stem cell therapy, and holistic modalities for your body, mind, and spirit. Join Marge on Sunday mornings for her 11 a.m. service.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Will from MRFRANKS, and I'm a proud sponsor of Health Matters, and I am very motivated and inspired by all of the information that the show offers.
Hi, I'm Kim.
I'm Mitch from Pure Life Energy Saunas.
And together we are proud sponsors of Health Matters, a program that educates the community on how to be healthy, mind, body, and spirit. So follow us, because your health matters.